right, so here we are with that 2500. We've got our expansion card here. I believe this is the GVP card with its SCSI. And I think that's probably the native accelerator card that Commodore shipped with it. And of course our toaster. And there's a little damage on the case, but it's not anything that's going to be horrible. I can probably bang that out, get a little grip on there and straighten it out. And come down here, we're going to see that we've got a really, well, that floppy drive has seen better days. And of course there's a dead cat inside of it. Well, we can clean that too. The floppy button needs a little work. Anyway, let's dive down here, and as you can see, we've got our GVP card, our Commodore Accelerator card. Everything looks really clean. I mean, this cable folded over like that was pretty typical. Of course, our video toaster, looking all video toastery. Nice and snug in there, it's looking good. This thing needs to be cleaned, and that's what I'm going to do next. And we do have a damaged video port there, video jack, to get that taken care of. I'm not going to do that right now, but all of that and that little bent panel, I'll get that. I can straighten that panel myself, but the video port might have to wait till later. And here's a closer look at that Commodore Accelerator card with its memory banks. And yep, that is a 2630. It looks pretty good. All the 2500s, of course, came with those. And this is the GVP hard drive card with the memory expansion module. It's not fully occupied, but can always add more RAM to it later. And let's get a good overview of this now that we've pulled everything out, and you can see how dirty it is, and actually how clean it is at the same time. Like you don't see any gross damages anywhere. And there's that icky battery. Oh, that 68,000 looks horrible. The battery looks even worse, but we can clean all that up, and that's what we're going to do. We'll get it all nice and happy again, and we'll get that battery ripped out of there. Oh, look at that. Isn't that tasty? Man, I'm hungry now. I want to go fry some marshmallows. All right, well, here we are. We've got her all cleaned up and looking pretty. I think we did a pretty good job there. I can smash in here, and you can see there, oh yeah, gone is the dead cat issue all over the board. So, success. The battery damage was next to nothing. I'll throw up an image of that on the screen using magic. You can see how the battery area looked. Not too bad, really. Not too bad at all. And I'll get that taken care of later. We'll put a coin cell in there. So what I want to do first, of course, this is the exciting part. I haven't put any of the cards back in it. So right now it is just it's just an Amiga 2500. Well, really, right now it's just an Amiga 2000 because the CPU card is out of it. The SCSI hard drive's out of it. Now, before I plug the power into the board, I'm going to turn this power supply on and make sure it doesn't blow up in smoke. Now, if you're wondering, well, why don't you get out a multimeter and do all the proper testing? Well, that's because I don't have one yet. I have one that's really terrible, but the person who sold this to me has already done a full video on it, showing it working and not blowing up. Let's go ahead and turn this on and see if it smokes. Now, I'm only going to flick it on for a second. It hasn't smoked. And the hard drives aren't that loud. I only wanted to flick it on for a second because I don't know if this thing needs to be terminated down here. Otherwise, it freaks out. So, it didn't smoke. That's a good sign. As I showed earlier, it comes with the Pregnant mouse and an Amiga 3000 keyboard. So, unfortunately, I did not get the 2500 keyboard, but I'm willing to forgive that because, as we all know, the Amiga 3000 keyboard and the Pregnant mouse is awesome. Just the power for the board. All right, so I guess here we go. Ignition. Now this is going to take, keep in mind, this is going to take a little bit to boot because it does not have the floppy disk or hard drive plugged in. This could take at least 30 seconds before we see a ROM screen. Come on, Amiga 2500. Everyone knows what the 2000 is and what the 3000 is, but not many people know what the 2500 is. What an awesome machine. It was basically an Amiga 2000 that Commodore slapped in their own 25 megahertz 60 to 30 with an FPU and some memory. And you came in the box, for you, so you didn't have to go out and buy one. I'm sure they charged you an arm and a leg for it. But that way you had an Amiga 2000 that was a little more ready and able to go when it came to desktop publishing or 3D animation, or more importantly, of course, yes, using the video toaster. And this system, of course, came with the toaster, as I showed. And I'm sure that's why this 2500 was purchased, because whoever bought it wanted the toaster, and they just wanted to have an Amiga that had enough power to run it, and they didn't want to have to worry about getting a card themselves. And so here you go, a reason the 2500 exists. So if any of you have watched my channel, you know I have the absolute worst luck with big box Amigas. My 3000 was a Reamiga 3000 because the 3000 I had originally had a crater the size of the one in Arizona in it, and I had to, the only solution for it was to get it Reamiga'd, and I've been on an adventure with that. And you've seen those videos, and here we are in the adventure now with the big box Amiga 2500, and I'm not seeing a picture. Well, we're going handheld here because I needed to grab the 68030 accelerator card that this came with. Now remember, this came plugged in from Commodore. So I'm assuming there may have been jumpers on the motherboard, the 2000's motherboard. See, it is a 2000, by the way, right there. I'm assuming there might be jumpers on the motherboard that were set to look for an external CPU. And because it ships this way from Commodore. So instead of trying to sit here and troubleshoot everything for an hour, I just grabbed the 68030 and plugged it back in, and boom! Yay! We're in business, baby! Oh my gosh, finally! Finally, I have a big box Amiga that I can turn on, and it works. Okay, so as I said, this did come with the GVP SCSI card, and it has the hard card. There's a hard drive on there, and it came with this really long ribbon, and I do have a longer one. And I believe this ribbon was going down to this bottom hard drive, which is a newer hard drive, as I said, not to this old school original. So this was not even plugged in to the SCSI chain. So what I'm going to do is assume that hopefully this is the Workbench hard drive, and then maybe this was the toaster hard drive, and then this might have been possibly the original hard drive that came with it. I have no idea. We'll have to find out. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. Oh yeah! So we've got, oh, there you go. You've got 1 mega chip and 8 megs of fast RAM. TH0 is 3 megabytes free, 68% full, right? Am I reading that right? Or am I a complete moron? It's 3 megabytes, right? So this has, well, oh, he had a PARNet cable on it. That's cool. I actually might have a PARNet cable. If I don't, maybe one of you can send me one. I kid. PC's got cross-DOS on here. This is so cool. Here we go. This is historical time. Deep diving into someone else's life. Now, of course, if there's anything personal that pops up on here, I'll make sure to get rid of that. So he's obviously has, he had an Amiga, he had a Workbench 1.3 install in here at some point, because there's everything still in here from that. And that's probably, I'm wondering if that's what's on that old school Quantum hard drive is a 1.3 install. Oh no, he's actually got the toaster on this hard drive as well. So maybe the second drive is just a place to store all of his files. Oh, you've got Add Pro on there. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. What version is it? It's 2. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Not only is it 2, it's old school 2 with the old full screen display. Oh, that's amazing. That means we get the fuel gauge for execute. No, there's no data. That's right. Let's load something real fast. Look at this. Isn't this great? We're going to use the universal loader, accept and load. I haven't used, oh, there you go. You got a sneak peek at the fuel gauge there. And let's go over to DH1 dpaint work. Let's see if we can find something in here. Pictures. Look at that fuel gauge, baby. Oh yeah, I missed that. I really missed that fuel gauge. That was so much fun. Well, there you go. This is the plan you should actually follow when making YouTube videos. Yeah, this program was such, oh, this version of the program is, I miss it. It was so cool. Let's go ahead and exit, but that's so cool. He's got dpaint on there, or dpaint. He's got dpaint on there and Add Pro, like the old school before it became more real. He's got Pixel 3D. So Pixel 3D was a program I do want to cover on this channel all on its own. And this is an amazing program because at the least, it allows you to import-export object formats and share data between multiple 3D packages, which of course is extremely handy. But it also does really smart, clever things like take a two-dimensional image and turn it into a 3D object. It was really meant to help people who just didn't have any kind of animation or modeling skills to, they get a business card from somebody and they're like, here's my business card. Can you turn this into a 3D object and then animate it, right? So this company actually made a couple pieces of software. They made the Pixel 3D, and then they sold WaveMaker, which was a program that basically had a bunch of preset flying logo animations that you could then load that converted business card object into and create a nice little flying logo, and you could maybe start a business that way, and some folks did. This person obviously did. This is definitely a workhorse Amiga 2500. This person was definitely into the graphic artist side of things. So he's got the toaster. Now, I don't have the toaster plugged in at the moment because there's no convenient way to do it, but I'm sure it's fine. That's going to be awesome, though, that it's on this drive. So he's a Discmaster guy, huh? All right. I think, is that what Chris Edwards uses? Discmaster 2. I know a lot of people like Discmaster. I was not a fan of Discmaster. Just wanted to see if we could actually get something up on the screen moving. If he had any anims. So I'm hoping these are just regular anims. I mean, if it's his personal work and it's got personal stuff, I'll blur it out. Well, that just looks crazy looking. I'm assuming this is a demo that came with the program, or this guy was like the most awesome 2D dude ever. That's pretty cool. Look at all that crazy stuff going on there. Wow. Man, you got freaking windshield wipers and blenders and spinny thingies, and look at these awesome. This is like the most awesome couple in the world skiing. Look at them. How badass they look. All right. Good for you. Okay. So obviously this guy didn't care about, the things we care about today, like sysinfo and, those things. So there's no of that stuff installed here. So it knows the SCSI, the memory, 4 megabytes. All right, that's cool. Commodore board tells you all the stuff. Put board into 8 meg space? No. Can board be shut up? No. That's interesting. So the Commodore board has 4 megabytes on it. The GVP board has 4 megabytes on it. What a happy little world they live in together. All right, so there's not much more I can do in this chapter, this, I guess, part 1 of the Amiga 2500. I want to thank you all for watching. I'm so glad that we have a boot here. We've even run it for a while, and nothing crazy's happened. I am as interested as you are to know what's on those other hard drives. But, we're going to have to save that for part 2, because why else would you watch the video then, right? All right, everyone have a great, great, amazing day or night, wherever you are. And if you're orbiting this planet on a space station, well, that's just really cool.